What's up, my Ninja Warriors? This is the Ninja Warrior 21 here, and bringing you guys to Pokemon ORASOU Live, where I am going to have a battle against Theo Konsteallos. And this is actually for OST. Now, if you don't know what OST is, it's like the smog tour of the most amount of people in it. So yeah, and honestly, looking at this matchup, I'm thinking, okay, so I mean, though I'm thinking of winning with Zard Y, but the problem is that I need to get a free switch into it. And the problem is that if he gets rid of the sun and then goes into Manaphy, that would be pretty bad for me. Spoiler alert. Actually, that kind of spoils the entire battle. Not really though. Whatever. Anyway, so looking at my team, I'm actually using Sand. No, he's also using Sand. Unfortunately though, his Sand actually has a better matchup versus my Sand than he does his Sand, because his Sand setter actually beats my setter 1v1. However, I do have a Breloom and a Manaphy. I also have an Underwear Clefable with Stealth Rocks and T-Wave, as well as a Megazard Y. And Megazard Y could potentially do work if I end up playing it well enough. So yeah, I'm just gonna hop into this battle. So he's gonna lead off with his Gladiolus, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and lead off my T-Tar. Now looking at this matchup, I'm assuming this is really good for me, as I'm actually gonna go for the Pursuit here, because I want to trap this thing. As he goes to the Draco Meteor, which makes sense. As let me actually turn this off. Wait. So let me try the as he goes to the Pursuit. Now the thing here is that basically, well, I think this is a good. Now what I should have done here is I probably should have switched directly into Manaphy. The reason I should have Calm Minded up, that would have definitely won me the game. Because if I wanted to Manaphy and Calm Mind here, I could have actually won. Because basically, if I wanted to Manaphy here and Calm Mind up, I would have been able to have prevented Hippo from getting up rocks, which would have been huge for my Zard. But I could have also threatened his entire team, since his team is a bit weak to Calm Mind Manaphy. But unfortunately, I make the not as good play. Although the good thing about these tournaments is that you get to learn a lot about competitive battling. Like, you learn a lot of experience, a lot of like stuff, and I definitely learned a lot from this first game. As I definitely did make a few. I mean, I think the first turn kind of just led to me making it nearly impossible for me to win. So I'm actually gonna spam Pursuit here. So yeah, if I had switched into Manaphy, I could have potentially won the entire game. Unfortunately though, I actually spammed Pursuit, thinking that's my best possible play, when it's really not. My best possible play was actually going to Manaphy, as I said earlier, and Calm Minding up. So yeah, I mean, I did definitely learn a lot from this tournament. So yeah, as you're definitely probably gonna see me do a lot more tour games in the future, as I actually really like doing tour games, since it allows me to learn a lot of things as a Pokemon battler. It allows me to learn a lot of new things I never knew about before. As I'm actually gonna Pursuit Trap my Latios, because my thought process here was that if I got rid of Latios, I could potentially win my Zard. But the problem is that he has Sandstream Hippo, which gets rid of the sun. And then if he goes into Manaphy right after that and gets up rocks, that would put me in a terrible position, because then that would make it nearly impossible for me to win. Because basically, if my opponent gets up rocks and then SDs up with my Mega Scissor, I can potentially lose, especially if I don't Scald Burn him with my Manaphy. So yeah, this is definitely bad for me. As he's just gonna recover again, as I'm gonna take him out with the Pursuit. However, my opponent actually gets essentially gets free rocks here, which is actually terrible for me. I definitely should have played this better. I apologize for playing poorly in my first game. I will try not to make any huge misplays in the future. So I'm actually gonna pause right now because I have to charge my computer. So I'll be back. And I'm back. So looking at this matchup, actually, let me check. Looking at this matchup, so I know he's definitely going for rocks here. So I'm actually gonna go. I believe I went to Manaphy or Breloom. I forget. Or no, I went into Manaphy, I believe. Or no, I went Breloom. Yeah, because the reason I went Breloom is because I want to put something to sleep. Because if I can put something to sleep, that would be really nice. So yeah, as he's gonna switch into his Torn. As I'm actually gonna put him to sleep, which is pretty good for me, because putting Torn to sleep makes Torn less of a threat, which is great for me. As I believe I go directly into Exca here, as he actually pulls a double and a Scissor. I mean, that's fine by me. I guess he was just predicting. I don't know what he was doing there. I guess he just wanted to. I guess he was predicting. I don't know what he was predicting. I guess he was predicting T-Tar. Yeah, he's probably predicting T-Tar. Yeah, as he's probably. I'm just going for the rapid spin since I cannot allow rocks to be up on my side of the field. Unfortunately, he can U-turn into Hippo for free, which is pretty bad for me since it basically means that it's gonna be really hard for me to be able to get rid of these rocks. So yeah, as honestly, I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake here, hoping that he chokes and kills me with Earthquake, since it's the only way I can really win at this point. Since rocks are just so bad versus me. As unfortunately, he just goes for the rocks. Maybe I should have gone directly into Manaphy there and fired up a Scald. I mean, it's fine though. It's also gonna rapid spin here. I'm hoping that he doesn't double rocks here, as he's actually gonna slack off. I'm kind of surprised he went for the slack off though. I mean, I guess he can just go for rocks this turn, as I believe he just goes for rocks this turn. Because I'm gonna go directly into Manaphy. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, the only way I can win is if I Skull Burn Manaphy. Because if I Skull Burn Manaphy, I might be able to win with Manaphy at this point. Since Manaphy is definitely a threat to my opponent's team, meaning if I can get up a couple of Calm Minds while also burning Manaphy, that'll be great. Unfortunately, I do not burn him though, which really sucks. All I need to do is one burn in this Manaphy, and this game could have potentially been over. Although it's unfortunate, I'm gonna stay in since I have Rain Dance plus Rest, so I'm not really worried. And I also really want to burn this thing. It's unfortunate to not get the burn. So yeah, if I had known I wouldn't burn there, I would have just gotten directly into Clef. My unaware Clef. Although that kind of sucks though. All I really needed was to burn this thing. Oh well, so I'm still gonna go into my Clefable as I'm not. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm actually not unaware. Never mind. I'm actually not unaware. I must have been thinking about my my third game. Oh yeah. As you go for that energy ball. I'm sorry about that. I'm actually calm. I believe I'm Calm Mind. What's my set again? Let me check. What the heck is my set again? Wait. Let's see. So I am. What am I again? What's my set again? I forget. Oh yeah, I am Calm Mind. I'm actually Calm Mind T-Wave. I'm Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, Calm Mind, Moonblast, and T-Wave. So yeah. Ah shoot. So anyways, I believe I just go for the Moonblast here. I think, or do I go for Calm Mind? I'm pretty sure I'm Moonblast here. As yeah, I'm just gonna go actually T-Wave, predicting actually T-Wave just in case because if he stayed in, I paralyzed his Manaphy. Then I could potentially won with Breloom, but unfortunately, he is smart enough to realize that Manaphy is important to him. And I'm just gonna restore some HP with my leftovers. I'm just gonna go directly into my Manaphy here, since I am Fizz Def and I am expecting the Iron Head. I mean, if he Earthquake here, that would definitely suck, but I would have definitely taken that. Maybe what I should have done here is I should have rested. Maybe rest was the play here, or Calm Mind. I don't know, but I just didn't want him to stay in an EQ. As he goes directly into his Manaphy, as I go for the Scald yet again. Do I get the burn? And I do not get the burn, meaning that I basically. Oh my god, I can't even speak. As I actually do not get the burn, meaning that I basically lose. Because the only way I could have won this game at this point was if I had actually burnt Manaphy. Because if I had gotten off a burn versus Manaphy, then I could have potentially won. And if I had got burned Manaphy, and if I ended up calming up a Manaphy earlier on and then setting up a Rain Dance and then trying to sweep him, I could have potentially won with Manaphy plus Zard. And then the outcome of this game could have been completely different, as you guys will see later. As I'm actually just gonna switch into my Clefable since I am unaware. I don't want him to Tail Glow. Or no, I'm not unaware. Never mind. The reason I switched into Clef is because I don't want him to Energy Ball me, and it's my only Energy Ball switching. Because I can't really go Breloom because that's not switching. I can't go Exca. I really can't go T-Tar, and I really can't go Zard. As he's gonna go Exca here, as I believe I just Moonblast just for damage. As I do get a bit of, I'm able to weaken Exca a bit, which I guess could be potentially be nice later on. As at this point, I'm like, oh crap, what the hell do I do? I guess I'll sack Manaphy, because at this point, like, I don't really have another play. I don't really have that many options at this point. Like, I'm kind of running out of options at this point. As he's gonna take me out with the Earthquake here, I believe. But what I mean, this battle is really frustrating, because the fact that I could have played it better, it definitely frustrates me. So yeah, that sucks. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into Charizard here. As I'm just gonna he switches out his Excadrill into Torn, as I believe I should have roosted here. I probably should have roosted here. That probably would have potentially won me the game, but unfortunately I do not roost. I just go for the Fire Blast, which was a bit of a misplay on my part. I also ended up missing, which is pretty huge. That really sucks, because I could have gotten free damage on Torn. Oh well. As he's gonna go into Hippo, as I'm able to get some nice and powerful damage on the Hippo. As that Fire Blast is gonna do a clean 60%. As I believe he just doubles on the Manaphy here, probably figuring that a Zard under the sand can't really do much to Manaphy. Now again, I should have roosted here. I definitely should have roosted here. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I just wanted to lose. I mean, like, I should have predicted a double in a Manaphy. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of plays I could have definitely done better at making during this match. As I'm gonna switch out my Zard into T-Tar, since the only way I can really win at this point is I don't really have is nothing. Like I can't really win at this point. As he actually gets the burn. Like come on, like I used Scald like 3 times, I didn't get the burn. And then you used Scald once and you get the burn. That was kind of dumb. At least I honestly think that was dumb for me. Like, I mean, I guess I did play bad, meaning that I kind of deserved that hacks, but still. As I'm gonna go for the rocks here, as he's gonna sack Hippo, which is a good play, definitely a good play by my opponent, since it does prevent me from rapid spinning the rocks away, which was the only, again, like that was the only way I could win at this point. So yeah, that was definitely a good play by my opponent. Because I'm gonna go directly into Breloom, as I believe I just Bullet Seed, I think, or do I Focus Punch? I'm pretty sure I Bullet Seed. Yeah, as he just goes into Scissor, as this actually sucks. As I'm gonna have the Bullet Seed here. So yeah, as I'm just gonna over the Spore here now. This is the biggest. I think this was the biggest misplay I made in the match. As I go for the double Spore, as I completely forgot that Torn was asleep. So yeah, that was a really dumb play by my opponent. Definitely. I mean, yeah, I don't know why I made that play. As now it's kind of over, because now Mega Scissor wins. Say a good game. Mega Scissor wins at this point. I kind of lose. It's literally impossible for me to win at this point. You're strong. So yeah, I'm just gonna sack my Hippo here. No reason not to. As I mean, I'm gonna get the free switch in a Clef, and I'm actually gonna Calm Mind, I believe. Oh no, I actually double into Excadrill, predicting the Scissor. As he goes to the Slack Off. Now I was pretty frustrated at this play. And basically, at this point, it's kind of over. You're scoring. So yeah, at this point I kind of lose, so it's kind of over at this point. So yeah, I kind of lose at this point. So he actually goes to rocks here. As I'm going to go into Clefable, as it's kind of over at this point. Like I lose. You have to. Okay, so I'm gonna go for the Moonblast here. As it's kind of over at this point. As he goes to the Earthquake, as I'm trying to Moonblast. I mean, it's kind of over at this point. It's kind of over. As yeah, he's gonna Scald me. As I'm trying to win at this point with my Clefable. I mean, there's really no reason to watch the game at this point. I kind of lose. Like I honestly lose. So I'm gonna go for Calm Mind. He goes for Tail Glow. I go for Moonblast. He goes for Scald. He goes into Scissor, and then it's game. So yeah, that's gonna be the game. Unfortunately, I lose. I mean, I definitely could have played that better, for sure. So yeah. And then you are forced to So yeah, at this point, this is my second round match versus Constant Threat. So I'm actually gonna be using my Mega ANC team, as he's gonna be using his Zard team. So yeah, Roost. Yeah. I can. Okay, so I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm just texting this guy right now. Recording. So yeah, at this point, so it's Mega the ANC versus Charizard at this point. So I'm gonna be using my Mega the ANC RMT, as he's gonna be using yet another sand team. So I guess my opponent is in love with sand. My opponent must only know how to use sand teams, because he seems to continuously use sand teams. So looking at his team, it looks like he's actually, if I can weaken that Skarmory, if I can weaken that Skarmory and waste his sand terms, I can potentially win with Mega Diancie. Also, I can potentially win with Talon as well, depending on what I weaken. He's also pretty weak to Keldeo. I'm sorry about that. He's also pretty weak to Keldeo, so I can definitely win with that as well. So yeah. I don't think so. Okay, so I'm just gonna look for another battle. So he's gonna leave Manaphy, as I'm actually just gonna lead off of my Diancie, I believe. So at this point, what the hell? Wait. So at this point, honestly, this is not looking good at all. So yeah. So I'm actually, so he actually switches into Skarmory. Now at this point, I'm actually going for the Moonblast, since I didn't want him to Tail Glow. Because if he Tail Glowed, I would have lost him on here. So I didn't want to lose him on here, which is why I'm actually gonna go right for the Moonblast. He goes into Skarmory, which I guess was his better play, as I'm gonna be able to restore the PP with my leftovers. So yeah, I'm just gonna switch out my Mega Diancie as he goes into his Lando T. So I'm actually gonna go into my Lando T as he goes into his Skarmory. As he's going for Iron Head. Now here, I'm actually expecting him to go for the rocks, because at this point, I'm expecting him to actually predict me going to Keldeo, and if he gets a rocks for free, that would suck, and I don't want him doing that. So I'm actually gonna go into my Mega Diancie, since I figured he wouldn't Iron Head again, and I wanted to bounce back the incoming rocks, as that exactly what's gonna happen. As he's just gonna go for the rocks, as I'm gonna be able to bounce them right back, as I am able to bounce the rocks back, which is great for me. So at this point, now he's actually, at this point, I could have stayed in the Moonblasted, but I didn't want to risk my win con, because Mega Diancie is one of my win cons, as Mega Diancie does have a pretty good chance of winning, so I definitely wanted to save this thing. As I'm going to go directly into Keldeo, as he has very few Keldeo switch-ins at this point, as he's going to go for the rocks, which is a very good play by my opponent, definitely, since it allows him to pressure my Talon. So at this point, I'm honestly just gonna go for the Scald, as I kind of want to burn, I just want to burn his Tangrowth at this point, because if I burn Tangrowth, that would be amazing. Also, burning Manaphy would also be great. Also, getting damage off on Tangrowth would also just be great in general. As I do not get the burn, but that's fine. I'm going to go directly into my Jirachi, expecting the Giga Drain / Leaf Storm at this point, as he actually makes a very nice double into his T-Tar, I guess predicting the Jirachi. I don't know what he's predicting. I guess he was predicting the Talon to come in. I guess he was predicting Talon at this point. I mean, it's either that or he was predicting, I don't know. I mean, I guess he was really predicting Talon, as he just switches out back into his Skarmory, as I actually go for the Iron Head, just in case if he stays in and goes for the Crunch. So that way I actually have a chance to flinch him. Is I'm just gonna go immediately into my Keldeo, so that way I can put immediate pressure on this Skarmory. As he's gonna withdraw his Jirachi, as I'm just gonna go into Keldeo. So yeah, he goes to the whirlwind here. Now at this point he goes. As I'm actually gonna go to Mega Diancie. As his Skarmory is gonna restore HP with the leftovers. As I'm just gonna go immediately back into his Keldeo, knowing that he does not have Brave Bird, meaning that I don't have to worry about any of that. As he actually goes for another roost. As at this point, I believe I just Scald again. I believe he actually goes into Tangrowth, I believe, as I go for the Scald. Or no, he stays in. He actually stays in, I go for the Scald, and I get the Burn, which is great for me. It's just Skarmory is basically useless at this point. The only thing his Skarmory is good for at this point is Step Water, which is great for me. So yeah, that Burn was definitely nice for me. As I'm just going for the Iron Head here, just in case he stays in and attempts to get off a roost. As he actually switches out, surprisingly enough. I'm kind of surprised he didn't stay in there, as I guess he just predicted the Iron Head, which makes sense. As I'm just gonna go for the Iron Head. As he goes into Mana, it makes a very nice switch into Manaphy. As I'm just gonna go into Celebi, since I'm expecting him to go for the Scald. And even if he does go for the Tail Glow, I mean that would definitely suck. Although I'm fine with that. As I do go into Celebi, as I believe he just goes to the Scald. As no, actually he actually doubles. I'm sorry. He actually doubles in the Excadrill. I guess, which I mean, it was a good play on his part. I guess predicting that. Is I'm actually gonna go immediately into Lando, as he's gonna go for the Rapid Spin. Now at this point, I believe he just goes for the Rapid Spin here. Now at this point, I can actually immediately go spam rocks, because he's forced to. What I expected him to do is I expected him to just spam spin here. Because basically, what that would have done is spamming rocks would have forced him to eventually spin. Which would have pressured Charizard immense, for sure. As I believe I just go for the rocks here, as he actually goes to the SD. As I'm actually gonna go for the U-turn here. The reason I go for a U-turn is so that way I can actually break his air balloon. So that way I can actually. The reason I go for U-turn is because I wanted to break his air balloon. I also wanted, because basically if you went for Iron Head here, and if he didn't flinch me, I basically got a free switch into Keldeo and got a free kill. Assuming he didn't flinch me with Iron Head. But if he goes with the spin, that means my Lando can get up rocks later on potentially if I want to. Yeah, because Lando can still do work potentially. I mean, we'll see though. As you will see whether it does work or not. Even here, as I believe I just go directly into. Do I go Manaphy or? Do I go Keldeo or Diancie? I believe I go Keldeo. As yeah, I do go Konsteallos. I'm just gonna go for the Secret Sword here, as my opponent's actually gonna make a direct switch into the Tangrowth, I believe. Probably thinking that he could tank this Secret Sword way better, as that's clean to a KO, which is amazing for me. That puts me in a great position, as he's actually gonna double into Skarmory, just so that way his Tangrowth can get more regen health back. Which is good for. I mean, it's good for him, since he's probably thinking that Tangrowth is his main answer to Mega Diancie at this point, as he's going directly into Charizard. Now at this point, looking at his team, I'm like, okay, I actually expected it to be Zard Y, although I probably should have expected Zard X, especially since Zard X is a lot better on balanced teams such as this one than Zard Y. But I just thought it was Zard Y, and then could have potentially been Chlorophyll Tangrowth, which is why that Secret Sword did so much. Because what I was thinking is, I was actually thinking that it was Chlorophyll Tangrowth plus Zard Y, because that would have allowed his Tangrowth to like be very threatening amount offensively, which is why I'm actually gonna go into Talonflame. But I'm actually gonna be proven wrong here. Or no, I believe I actually go into Lando, or no, I go to Talonflame. As I'm actually proven wrong here, as he goes right for the DD in regular form, which is pretty bad for me. As I mean, I really expected him to not be Megazard X. As I believe I go immediately into Lando here, so that way I can actually intimidate him. I also want to preserve Talonflame, because Talonflame could be very helpful later on. It could potentially be a very nice mon to have later on. As you guys can see, I'm sorry for that. As he's gonna Mega Evolve, go into his Charizard. As he goes to the D-Claw, which is a clean 2KO, but that's fine by me. I'm actually gonna sack my Lando here. I don't really have a switch into this Charizard. I kind of wanted to just sack my Lando, so I can free switch into whatever I want. As I'm just gonna go into Keldeo, since I go into Keldeo since I know that Dragon Claw will not OHKO me. easily knock him out with the Scald actually. At least I thought Scald would kill. I mean, I figured since he had DD that he wasn't going to be a defensive set. As he's actually going to go immediately into his tank growth, as I believe I just Secret Sword again. Or actually go for the Scald here. Since I guess I just wanted to get a burn, as I do get the burn, which is very nice, because it's actually huge from Mega ANC. Basically, at this point, if I can get rid of Tyranitar, and if I can stall out the sand, then I can actually straight up win with Mega ANC. So this burn is actually huge for me. It just makes it a lot easier for me to win, as he's gonna go directly into his Jirachi. I'm gonna go directly into my Jirachi. As he's gonna pull yet another double into a T-Tar. And I'm actually gonna go for the Iron Head here, trying to get the flinch. As unfortunately, I don't get the flinch. Yeah, the one time that Jirachi does not come through for me, it just happens to be in an OST tournament that actually matters, which kind of sucks. Although I am gonna get the free switch into Mega ANC here, as my opponent is forced to sack something. Now at this point, I'm actually gonna go for the Earth Power. The reason I go for the Earth Power is because if he goes into Tank Growth, Sand plus Burn plus Protect is easily gonna put in a range of Moonblast. And if he goes Manaphy, that's one less answer to my Mega ANC. If he goes Charizard, that's one less threat left to my team. And if he goes Exca, that means Exca dies. So yeah, he's actually gonna go into his Manaphy, as Earth Power plus Moonblast is going to take him out. So I'm actually going to go for the Moonblast here. There's no reason to double Earth Power, since it's such a risky play. I might as well Moonblast, take out the Manaphy. As yeah, he's going to sack Manaphy, as I'm about to get rid of the Manaphy, which is great. As my opponent's going to go, I believe, in the Excadrill here. But however, since his Tyranitar went for the Crunch, I am 90% sure that his Tyranitar is Scarf. And what this basically means is that I can actually protect here, and then stall out the sands, bring back in my ANC, and then get a kill. So basically, this Mega ANC is going to put in the work. So I'm going to be able to protect here, as Sand's actually going to end this turn, which is amazing for me, since it basically means that I basically get another free kill, which is great. So yeah, Mega ANC is putting in a lot of work. Yeah, Mega ANC is amazing. The amount of work that's been putting in this match has just been amazing. As he goes for the Iron Head, as I'll be able to just fire off an Earth Power here. As I believe what does he do here? I forget. Oh no, he goes into, I think, Tank Growth, or no. Yeah, no, yes he sacks T-Tar, so that way he has 4 turns of Sand. However, I have 4 Mons left, and I have a Celebi as Death Fodder, which is great for me. So he goes to Excadrill, so I'm actually going to go immediately into my Celebi, as I believe he just Iron Heads here. As yeah, he just goes right for the Iron Head. Now at this point, if he actually switches into Zard here and he DDs, I can still lose, which is why I'm actually going to go for the Baton Pass. Because even if he stays in, I can honestly just go into Keldeo and then double back into Celebi and the Baton Pass again. Because basically, once I waste his Sand turns and bring in Mega ANC plus Talonflame wins the entire game for me. So yeah, I still have Keldeo slash Celebi as potential Death Fodder. So I'm gonna go for the Baton Pass here, since I do not want his Zard X to set up for any particular reason. As I'm going to be able to go for the Baton Pass, which is amazing for me. I'm gonna be able to get a free switch into Mega ANC, as I'm just gonna fire off an Earth Power at this point, since it is gonna kill his entire team. Like, something's dying this turn no matter what. As I believe he just goes hard switch into Excadrill, predicting the Diamond Storm. As unfortunately for my opponent, I'm just gonna go for the Earth Power, as that is going to be a dead Excadrill. As at this point, it's kind of over, I believe, because Keldeo plus Talon can also win at this point. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go for the Protect here, just so that way I can get some more on him. As I'm gonna go for the Moonblast here, just in case if he's not AV. Unfortunately though, he is AV. However, Keldeo is going to be able to clean up the game easily by going for 2 Secret Swords. So yeah, that's gonna be the game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I mean, it's kind of. As I'm just gonna go into Keldeo, click Secret Sword, and then I can Secret Sword twice for the win. So yeah, it was definitely a close game, for sure. As I'm able to take out the Charizard. Yeah, I'm just gonna go on to my third game versus Constant Threat. Now I'm actually gonna be using this game that my boy Angel Pichu passed me. As unfortunately, my Alakazam actually has the wrong ability. It actually has synchronized by accident, which is pretty unfortunate. So it's Unaware Clef, Solar Beam Power of Heatran, Skarmory, Latios, and Keldeo. So looking at this matchup, he is definitely weak to Mega Zam. I actually expected him to bring Sand, which is why I brought this team. Since I do have Mega Zam to trace the Sand Rush, meaning that Scissor is the only thing that can even do anything to my Mega Zam at all. He's gonna lead off with his turn. As I'm just gonna go as he's gonna lead off with Clefable. So yeah, I'm still gonna go for the rocks here, so that way I can actually pressure his Torn, and I can make him want to defog potentially later on. As I'm just going for the rocks here, as he's just gonna go immediately into Hippo, since he just wants to get up his own rocks, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm fine with him getting up his own rocks. So I'm just gonna get him my rocks. Now at this point, I believe I just go into, do I go Skarm or do I go Lati? I'm pretty sure I go Skarm here. I believe. No, do I go Keldeo? I forget. I'm just gonna go into my Keldeo, because I want to pressure his team, as he's gonna go for the Stealth Rock. Now at this point, his only Keldeo switching is actually Latios, because he can't really go Manaphy, because that thing's gonna get overwhelmed, and he could potentially need Manaphy for my team, since Manaphy does have a pretty decent matchup versus my team, and he has no idea that my Clefable is unaware, so he probably thinks that Manaphy is important, when it's really not. As I'm actually going for Icy Wind here, as I'm able to actually make a very nice play here, as this is going to work out perfectly for me. As he's going to go right into Latios, as I'm able to get off huge damage on this Latios right away, which is great. As I'm going to be able to just go for the Icy Wind, which is going to do massive damage to his Latios, as I'm able to severely weaken his Latios, which is great for me, as I believe he just doubles into Manaphy here, I think. As he just doubles into Manaphy, but that's fine by me. Like, even if he doubles into Manaphy, like, I have an Unaware Clef in the back. Like, I'm not really worried about that thing. I also get off a nice and clean 13%. So yeah, I'm just gonna go. So I'm just gonna go for the Icy Wind, as he's gonna bring his Manaphy. Now I'm gonna go immediately into my Unaware Clef, I believe, since I am unaware and I don't want to Tail Glowing for free. I know I'm actually going to Latios. The reason I went to Latios is because my opponent has very few Draco switch-ins. Like, his only Draco switch-in is Scissor, meaning like I can actually drop a Draco on his entire team and he's gonna be pressured throughout the entire match. He's going for the Skull here. Fortunately, he does not burn me, thank goodness. I believe I'm just gonna drop a Draco on this man. I mean, if I had HP Fire, I might have gone for it, but I'm just gonna drop a Draco, as he's gonna go immediately into his Scissor, as Scissor's is going to be able to eat up that Draco like it was dinner. Now, if I had HP Fire here, I probably won the entire game here, since I would have been able to have just gone for the HP Fire here, basically kill his Scissor, and then the game would have already been over. Like, my opponent would have straight up lost to Mega Zam after that. As I'm just gonna go directly into Heatran here, as I'm not really expecting him to superpower, as I believe he just Roost here, which is definitely his better play, I believe. As yeah, since he wants his Scissor to be healthy for the rest of my team, which definitely does make sense. As he's gonna switch out his scissor, as he's gonna go directly into Manaphy. As I'm actually gonna go for the Magma Storm here. Now I actually ended up making a bit of a misplay here, because what I should have done is I should have just gone immediately into, I guess Keldeo would have been nice, or even Clefable would have been nice. Yeah, I probably should have switched into either Clefable or Keldeo, since I still could have used Heatran as my #1 counter to Scissor, as well as a check to Latios / Torn. So yeah, switch. Maybe Solar Beaming wasn't the best play here. Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have just switched. Although at least I'm able to get rid of his Manaphy with the Solar Beam, which is nice. As he's gonna go for the Solar Beam, so yeah. As I am able to take out the Manaphy, so yeah. As he's gonna go on a Hippo. As I believe I just go for Magma Storm here, because basically what I want to do is I actually wanted to weaken Hippo, so that way I can get a free switch in Alakazam and then the Psychic, and then win the entire game of Megazam. He actually just goes into Torn. Fine by me. I'll be able to get off some clean damage on this thing. Nice and 40% plus Sand plus Magma Storm damage. So his Torn is gonna get severely low, which is really good for my Megazam. As he's gonna go for the superpower here, kicking me out. So yeah, I mean that's fine by me. As I believe I just go into Clef here, since it's the only thing that can actually take a hit from Torn at this point. As I am going to be able to just go into my Clefable. As he just goes for the U-turn, which is fine by me. As at this point, as he's just gonna go ahead and switch out into his Excadrill. As I believe I just Moonblast, I think. Dark Heat Wave. I think I Moonblast. As I am gonna Moonblast, so I am able to weaken his Excadrill, which is nice. As I'm just gonna go directly into Skarm here, since Skarm does wall Excadrill 110% over. And there really isn't much my opponent can do here to stop my as my opponent doesn't really have anything left that can actually kill my Skarmory. Like Skarmory actually walls the rest of his team pretty much. Like his only way to potentially win would be if his Latios is HP Fire. But even then, I can easily switch out versus his Latios if he brings it in versus my Skarmory. As he does go for the Rapid Spin, which is definitely a good play by his part, wanting to get rid of the rocks. Probably knowing that I wouldn't stay in. As my opponent is going to go directly into Torn. As I'm just going for the Iron Head, actually predicting that. Since I wanted to keep Torn low for my Megazam, so that Megazam had a better chance of winning at this point. So yeah, as I believe I just roost here. I'm pretty sure I believe I just Iron Head again. Since I wanted to get rid of Torn, so which is why I'm gonna Iron Head again. Iron Head again. As he is going to go U-turn out into his Scissor. As I'm just gonna go for it again, I believe. I mean, which is fine by me. I mean, maybe I should have spiked here, but it's whatever. I mean, I don't really care at this point about spikes. I'm gonna go directly into. I actually go for the spike here, I believe. Or do I taunt? I'm pretty sure. I believe I actually taunt here. Yeah, I do go for the taunt. As his Scissor is taunted, meaning that it is forced to attack me here, which is great. So yeah. As he goes for the BP here, which does literally 0. As I'm just gonna go for the spike here. Honestly, since I want to be able to pressure him at this point. As I'm just gonna switch out my Skarmory. As I'm just gonna switch it out into Clefable. As I believe he just goes to the U-turn here. At least I know it's set. It's SD, BP, U-turn, and Roost. So I know he does not have superpower, meaning that my Skarmory can actually wall this Scissor, which is great. So yeah, he's just gonna switch directly into his Excadrill, which is fine by me. I'm just gonna. I mean, I probably should have just stayed in here. Although I kind of need Clef though. Oh, no, I did stay in. Never mind. I did sack this thing, which is definitely a good play by me. Since I'm able to sack Clef, so that way I can get a free switch into Keldeo, I believe, and just click Scald. Like his water is. Oh yeah, I was actually going to Alakazam. No, maybe I should have gone to. I probably should have just gone into Keldeo here and Mega Evolved versus his Latios or something, or like Torn. But I mean, I guess it doesn't. I'm actually gonna go for the sub here. As he goes into Mega Scissor, as I am gonna be able to get off the sub. As I'm just gonna go for the Focus Blast. As I'm honestly hoping that Focus Blast kills him, although I'm not really expecting Focus Blast to kill at this point in the match. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for the sub here. As honestly at this point, he just goes for the BP. As I believe I just go for the Focus Blast here. As I am able to put him in range of spikes, which is great. As I believe I just go into Keldeo here. I mean, in retrospect, I probably could have just gone into Skarmory here instead of Keldeo. Maybe that would have been the better play. Oh well, I mean it's fine though. As I'm just gonna be able to fire off a Scald here. As he's gonna sack Hippo, which is fine by me since I do have a very good Exca counter, which is great for me. So honestly, as I believe he just brings in Exca here, since the sand is up, as he is sand rush boosted, as I believe I just go to immediately into Skarmory. Or no, I actually Scald here. Now what I probably should have just gone immediately into Skarmory here, and then repeatedly click Spikes. Because what that would have done is it would have pressured his Scissor, so that would have immediately died. But I'm just gonna go for the Rapid Spin, as he's gonna go for the Scald. He's just gonna go for the Scald at this point. As he's going to go into the Torn. As I believe do I stay in or do I switch? Or no, as he's actually gonna lose inactivity. Which is pretty unfortunate from my opponent. Now, what would have happened is that it would have come down to whether his Scissor could have potentially beaten my Skarmory. Although it would have been interesting to see the outcome of this match. So yeah. As that's gonna be it, I believe. Actually, let me check. As I believe I had a discussion. Or should I ask an official person if we should redo it? So honestly, we actually had a talk after this about who won the third game, which basically determined who won the entire round 1 of OLT. And I'm pretty sure, I believe my opponent thinks that they deserve to win, and I think I deserve to win. Because what would have happened is that he would have been forced to go into Scissor versus my Skarmory, and then I could have easily taunted him, and then he would have been forced to BP, but that BP wouldn't have done much, like at all. I mean, if I had Latios over Latios, this game might have been a bit better. So yeah, Latios over Latios would be. I didn't, but I could have still won. No, let me think here. Wait, how much he let me check here. So my Skarmory has, let's see, my Skarmory has 36 spikes, I believe. I have 24 iron heads. I believe 16 roosts. No, I have 16 roosts. 16 roosts. How many iron heads do I have left? I had. How many spikes did I have left? And I had. How many taunts do I have left? How many taunts do I have? Total. You know what, let's redo the match, fine. Let's just do it. And it would have been tough for my opponent to win, actually, now that I think about it. I'm not sure who would have won that, actually. I mean, it probably would have just come down to Scissor versus Skarm, honestly, because then Mega Slam killed everything else. Although, I don't think he had Heat Wave and Torn, though, so I'm pretty sure my Skarm would have won. Potentially won. I'm Fizz Def. I'm Fizz Def Skarm. But I'm Fizz Def Skarm, though. I'm talking to him on Messenger right now. So let me go ahead. The Konsteallos, what is it again? I mean, I don't know who would have won, honestly. Smog Tours. You know, I'm Fizz Def Skarm though, so BP would have done 0. I don't know. Okay. So I'm gonna show him the replay. Actually, let me ask someone. If you time out in a tour game, actually, let me ask someone right now. The Konsteallos, where is he? Get on Smog Tours. Just get on Smog Tours. So I'm gonna ask my opponent to get on Smog Tours right now. I'm actually gonna not end the. I'm not gonna end the record. I'm not gonna end the recording until I actually know who wins though. Oh, it's Monotype random. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm honestly not sure who would have won. Let's see. So I have Iron Head and Taunt. I mean, I don't know. I honestly have no idea who would have won though. It's like way too. It's like too hard to tell who would have won. Yeah. Since you DC and I don't want to recreate the battle. Let's see, but I'd U-turn or torn or Keldeo. Then I don't know. Oh, what are their official rules? Are there official rules to DCing? Let me check. Are there official tour rules to DCing? Actually, let me check. Smog. Let me check. Let's see. What happens to DC? Oh, he's disconnecting. Okay, so here this is what Smogon says about DCing. So these are the DCing rules for this. Okay, or do you want a rematch? Oh, so I do win. Okay, so anyways, guys, so apparently I do win. So yeah, good game. So I am able to win versus Constant Threat after a clean 20 minutes of deciding who will win the battle. I am officially decided to be the victor. So yeah.